So here we go. Well, thank you all for joining me. My name is Pramela. I'm a doTERRA Diamond, and I'm here today to share with you a little bit about my perspective, my point of view, and my understanding of the compensation plan that is offered through doTERRA. Now, I've been with doTERRA for 4 years, and I want to just tell you a little bit about my story and where I'm coming from. So when I started with doTERRA, I had never been in any kind of multi-level marketing company. doTERRA was my first venture into network marketing, and it was actually very accidental. I had no idea what I was walking into. And another thing that I want to express to you is that when I started with doTERRA, I was textbook the person you did not want to talk to about the business. I failed on every possible criteria that you would think would be logical in approaching someone about the business. I was at the time categorized by the state of Wisconsin as homeless. I was introverted, and not only was I introverted, I had severe PTSD where I had social anxiety. And I refused to sell, and I had a huge distaste for being told what to do. I did not want to be told what to do. So I was, I guess, like I said, textbook, don't talk to her, right? So it was almost like watching a train wreck, I think, for a lot of people in doTERRA at the time to watch me try and maneuver my way through the business plan and to do my thing and to eventually actually succeed in this business, because I defied all the odds that they thought, all the requirements that they thought were necessary, and I didn't really necessarily follow that step-by-step process. So within my first month of venturing into doTERRA as a business, I was making about $1,000 a month. And then within 4 months, I had achieved my power of 3, my third level power of 3, which is a $1,500 monthly payout. And you'll learn more about that in just a second. And I also hit the rank of silver. And I did that in building those like simultaneously, which actually open up to an additional bonus, which I'll talk about also in just a second. So within 4 months, I went from being categorized as homeless, and to end that program, I was supposed to actually enter into low-income housing. That was the goal, right? But I was able to venture into a land contract in a house. So doTERRA was my providence. The business plan that doTERRA set up, I don't think it was an accident. It was set up so that it's not the cream of the crop that will succeed in this business, but anybody can. Anybody and everybody can. And I am testament to that. And within 9 months, so another 5 months after hitting silver, I hit gold. And as a single mom, the goal income at the time was about $3,500 to $4,000, and I was set. I mean, I really felt like I was. It was the dream. I got to be a single mom. I got to live frugally. I got to pay my bills. I got to save a little bit, and I got to stay at home and pretend to make cookies for my children. I got to take them off the bus, put them on the bus, read to them. I mean, I could have coasted on it. But the wonderful thing about doTERRA and doTERRA's compensation plan is that it gives you an opportunity not just to coast, not just to survive, but to thrive. And as you thrive, you can really change the fabric of the lives of the people around you, your community, and ultimately a cause or a goal that you care about. And that's what happened to us. In my first year with doTERRA, the mark of our success was that my children and I did not have to count on Bootstrap to give us our winter clothing. And in previous years, though we were very grateful and very humbled by the efforts from good Bootstrap to keep our family warm, my children were always cold. But in that first year with doTERRA, not only was I able to go out and buy really good Wisconsin deserving winter gear for my two children, we were also able to buy identical quality winter gear for another family. And that really opened the door and opened our eyes to what we could do with the opportunity that doTERRA had given to us. That Christmas, my children said to me, "Mom, why did we buy winter jackets for just one family? Why not more? There's more than one family that needs this." And I said, "That's all we can afford." And so then my kids said, "Well, what do you need to do so that we can do this again next year, but for more people?" And I said, "Well, then we have to keep going." And my kids said, "Then go." So from that point, it was hard and it was a struggle. It was so worth it. And within a year, my family and I, we hit platinum. And then very shortly after that, we hit diamond. I mean, the diamond level paycheck, and that's kind of where I'm going to like pause in like my training with you guys, is unbelievable. The income with a diamond level financial compensation can range anywhere from $10,000 to $17,000. And my first paycheck was $13,000, and sounds like monopoly money. And the thing is, my children, my family, we don't need $13,000, and that's not what motivates us, and that's not what keeps us going. But last year, we were able to bless numerous families that were struck by domestic abuse, numerous individuals that were struggling with addiction recovery, and other causes. Last year alone, my children and I were able to afford to donate over $80,000 to charities. We live frugally. We drive, a $2,000 car. We're not extravagant, but it's a pace of grace that embarking on this journey can give you the opportunity to explore. And so as I'm telling you today about the financial opportunity with doTERRA, the way you change your life will ultimately end up affecting others. It's impossible for us as human beings to not allow the quality of our lives to affect the quality of other people's lives. And unfortunately, we live in a world where money, makes things happen. It can make good things happen. It can make bad things happen. And one of the things that was a learning curve for me was to come into this understanding and this acceptance that money was not bad, and that I didn't need to feel guilty about making money, because in the hands of good people, money will do big things, good things. And, and as you pursue and explore the opportunities and the options as to whether or not you want to look at doTERRA as a financial option for you, I want you to understand that changing the fabric of your life is something that you deserve. It is right here for you. It is just something that is dormant, and it's your choice whether you want to awaken it or not. So without further ado, let's start, all right? So in comparing doTERRA with other network marketing companies, there are different compensation models. There's a binary model, and then there's models that are more similar to what doTERRA does. And in those binary models, it's usually a very huge enrollment game. You can enroll people who enroll people, and you can just keep enrolling people, and they never meet or know each other. They never work together, and there is no reason to. And in many instances, it's very volume-based, and it's very driven by sales. There are quotas and all these little messy things, and that is one of the reasons why in the advent of network marketing, that it has received a reputation of maybe being pushy or of being stress on your finances, and of people, like these horror stories of people, having a stockload of product that is like taking up room in their garage, for example. Now, with the doTERRA compensation plan, one of the first things I want to tell you is that it is not an enrollment drive, it's not a recruitment game, and actually you will be more successful if you don't look at yourself as a salesperson. And the sales aspect of the compensation plan is actually the least attractive way for you to earn an income. It is labor intensive and I think not effective, but that's my opinion. And another thing to note with the doTERRA compensation plan is that you really don't need to personally meet any quota. And the recipe for your success is to be able to and to want to build meaningful relationships with the people whose life you're going to be touching through the introduction of an essential oil lifestyle. So right there's a difference in the way that doTERRA works. And in comparison with other network marketing companies, giants like Amway or Mary Kay or even Plexus or Sensi, the people who make it to the top, or at least to my level, are few and far between. However, in doTERRA, literally hundreds of people every single year qualify and run and walk and maintain this high income level. It is not just cream of the crop. It is it's astounding when you compare the numbers. And I did that, and I looked at what Mary Kay does, for example, and the number of people in Mary Kay throughout the history of Mary Kay who are at my rank equals, or it comes really close to how many diamonds doTERRA turns out in a year. So that in itself tells you how very, very different this compensation plan is. And I'm telling you this because it's important for you to understand that in the way that you hold yourself and you posture yourself when you speak about the business aspect or own the business aspect of doTERRA. Do not apologize for it. Do not feel bad about it. You are not you can choose not to walk the line of what has given network marketing a bad reputation because of the way the doTERRA compensation plan has been set up. So now with doTERRA, there are 5 different ways that you can earn an income, and the first and least attractive is your retail. Now, if you were to look at any product sheet, it will show you wholesale versus retail. And your wholesale price is what you buy your product for, and your retail is what you sell it for, and it's a 25% markup. So if you embark on that, with Wild Orange, you make $3. And it kind of increases in 25%. If you direct people to your website, which is the norm for a lot of network marketing companies like Norwex or Sensi or any other known network marketing company, and you direct people to your website and they purchase off your website, you earn 20%. And that check is just, put into your account. Sometimes you don't even know the people who may have made a purchase. And the downside to that is that I feel personally, I did not do any retail because I didn't feel right about directly making money off my friends. I wanted to share the benefit of savings with them, and so I pushed them into a membership. And inadvertently, it triggered for me the very, very life-saving compensation option, which is the second compensation option, and that's the Fast Start bonus. So the Fast Start bonus is paid weekly, and the Fast Start bonus is something that was it really saved me in the beginning when I was working with doTERRA. At first, my Fast Start bonuses helped with paying for my oils, and then they went on to becoming actually a very, very solid income. And it helped someone like me who was on the poverty line because it paid out every week. which is very attractive when you are really struggling for a way to put food on the table or buy diapers for your baby or put gas in the car. So the Fast Start bonus works very beautifully. And let me just pull up a file here. Got BOGOs going on this week, so my desktop is a bit messy because I'm doing some things for my team here. But let's see. All right. So the Fast Start bonus, I'm going to show you a little graphic here. So the Fast Start bonus is paid weekly, and you can earn anywhere from 5 to 20% of every person who enrolls under you personally. Now, in order for you to earn a Fast Start bonus, you have to have 100 PV in loyalty rewards orders in order to participate. And the loyalty rewards order, or the loyalty rewards program, which we call LRP, is a really wonderful program. It is something that I believe is one of the biggest blessings that doTERRA offers us through our membership. It gives you, 25% off anything that you purchase, and you also get, it triggers free product every month if you place an order by the 15th of the month, and it's at $125. And you also can earn anywhere from 10 to 30% back, almost like frequent flyer miles. Now, the distinction in doTERRA's loyalty rewards program, as opposed to any other program that's comparable in the market, is that it is not necessarily, it acts like an auto ship, but it doesn't deliver like an auto ship, because you can actually change the amount that you order every month. You can change the products in your cart. You're not stuck with with the same products. You can change the dates. And so I'll give you a little bit of math here, because I love doing math. I don't have hobbies, so math is like a fun thing for me. And my monthly order for my family and I, and we do the whole integration of essential oils, and we save a lot of money that way. I spend about $150 to $200 a month for my personal use. And in doing that, I earned about $160 in product last year, and through the product of the month, the free oil that you get every month, about $140 to $160 within free oils. I also earned about $1,500 in redemption of products I could pick through the loyalty rewards program. And in addition, I would say that just on the cleaning aspect and the personal care aspect, I saved about $750 in not buying store-bought products. So instead of buying Lysol and Mr. Clean and bleach and like Pantene or whatever, because I was converting to a more green and sustainable way of living, and also using products that were available through doTERRA, I saved about $1,300. And I'm not saying that I exchanged $1,300. I saved about $750. And the math on that varies across my team. I've had them come and tell me their numbers, and for some people it's in the thousands, because of the fact that many of them, because they are making monthly orders, their health and wellness has improved to such a level that they are no longer accessing or having to do like that monthly $20, $40, $60 copay for their pharmaceuticals. They're missing less days of work, and are actually able to possibly show up for work or have additional income through other jobs because they're feeling better. And I mean, and the list just goes on, and I don't want to take a lot of time doing that. I can do like an entire hour just on that. But so right there, the loyalty rewards program, and when you look at it as 100 PV, it is pittance compared to the value that you're going to get from that. And that is the first requirement for you to earn any kind of income with doTERRA. You have to be a product of the product. In order to earn an income, you have to use the product. And I think that's fair. And I think that is actually absolutely necessary and beneficial for you. So one of the points in the Fast Start bonus that can be confusing for people is the second bullet point, which says bonuses are paid to new enrollee PV for their first 60 days. Over and over again, people mistake that for your 60 days. So there's this mad scramble that you have to enroll as many people as you can in your 60 days, and that the Fast Start bonus is only applicable to you. No, the Fast Start bonus is applicable to the first 60 days of each new member. I'm going to pause right there, and I'm going to come back to the screen here, and I'm going to unmute you folks, and I would like you to please express back to me or reflect back to me what I just said as a clarification point, because this is very, very important. So can somebody just jump in and, reflect back to me what I have covered so far in terms of the Fast Start bonus, please? Otherwise, I'm going to call on you.
Well, Pram, I have a question. This is Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
So because I'm past my 60 days, then I can't do Fast Start, if I understand what you said.
No, that is exactly the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's not your 60 days, it's the 60 days of each person that you bring in.
Okay.
Okay, so I have been with doTERRA for 4 years. I still get Fast Start bonuses because I'm still enrolling people. It's their 60 days, not my 60 days.
Okay.
So let's do a case study. Suppose you enroll someone on November 21st today, right? Every time that they order in their enrollment kit, you get 20% off, okay? And then when they order again in December, say they order on December 10th, you get 20% of that. And then say they order again because frankincense, right? And they order on December 25th and they order $200, you get 20%. And then if they order again on January before the 21st, you get 20%. Okay? So I'm going to unmute you. Sharon, does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now I got it. I'm writing it down now so I can kind of visualize it later and everything.
Okay, so let me just jump to Nani. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so let me find you. Let me scroll and find you. I can't find you, but speak. Tell me, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so tell me why this is important. For somebody who say, like just starting out, what is that important thing in knowing this to kind of encourage the people who are doing this business? How can you leverage this to make this an important teaching point? Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is it to encourage the people to place LRP or? Yeah.
Genius. Right? So your job doesn't end at enrollment. That's why the Fast Start bonus for 60 days exists, right? It's not enroll them and forget them. It's enroll them and companion them. And make sure that they understand the benefit of the LRP the way I explained it to you or in your words. So one of the first things that is very important is for us to have a very solid posture on the importance of LRP, because it's not just, when you've put in all that effort, all those samples and everything that you've given somebody and they enroll and you roll through those 60 days without collecting that Fast Start bonus, for somebody new, it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. And we want to encourage them, we want to lift them. And it's a win-win-win situation to really focus on the LRP and to focus on how that affects your Fast Start bonus. Okay? Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to clarify? We good? Am I doing okay? Okay. All right. So let me go back to my share screen here. Okay. So the bonuses are paid for the first 60 days of the new enrollment. You earn, if you are the enroller, you have to be the enroller, all right? And the enroller, the difference between an enroller and a sponsor is that the enroller is the person who brought this person in. You are the one that gave them the samples, worked with them, connected with them. They are your contact, right? You are the enroller. So that is important to know. So then suppose, let's use me as an example. I enrolled Tony. So I will earn 20% every time Tony places an order in her 60 days. And then say 5 months down the road, Tony enrolls her daughter, Allie. Now, Tony will earn 20% of everything that Allie makes, right? And I will earn 10% because I am Tony's enroller. Okay, I'll come back and re-clarify that. Now, after Allie's 60 days, say she enrolls someone, Tammy. Allie will earn 20% in Tammy's first 60 days. Tony will earn 10% and I will earn 5%. That's why there's at 20, 10, and 5. Now I'm going to make it even clearer for you in just a second. So let me see. Okay. So now just to kind of retract a little bit. Let me find the right one. There we go. Okay, so you earn 20% for the first 60 days of purchases from a new member that you enrolled. Okay? And then you change the 20% to 5%, to 10% when it is the person that you enrolled enrolls somebody else. So let me flip to that screen. Okay, so you will earn 10% of all the orders for sorry, that's bad English right there. You will earn 10% of all orders for anyone your enrollee signs up for their 60 days. So let's do some examples here, okay? I want to speak to somebody who's like brand new. Can someone who is, brand new and, like maybe you have like just a couple of people under you, would you like to volunteer to speak up? Otherwise, I'm going to pick somebody.
I will.
Okay. Sharon, thank you. So Sharon, how long have you been with doTERRA?
3 weeks, 4 weeks.
You're a little baby.
I am.
Awesome.
And I have enrolled one person.
Tell me her name.
Karen.
Okay. So now you've been enrolled for 3 weeks. Who enrolled you?
Nani.
Okay. So everything that you buy for the next 60 days, Nani will earn 20%.
Okay.
Now you have enrolled, what's her name again?
Karen.
Karen, right? Anything that Karen orders for the next 60 days, you will earn how much?
20%.
And how much will Nani earn?
10%.
And how much will Tiara earn?
5?
Correct.
Okay.
Because Tiara is Nani's enroller.
Okay.
And Tiara has been with doTERRA for 3 years, right? Yeah. And Nani has been around for more than 60 days. Does that make sense? Is everybody clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Yes. Did somebody have a question? Okay. Sharon, I'm going to unmute you for a second. I just want to check in with you. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Are we doing okay? We're doing all right? Okay.
Great.
Awesome. I'm going to mute again. Now, that's really all you need to know about the Fast Start bonus. That's what's important. All right, it gets paid weekly, and the way you can figure out what you're going to make and the synergy happens is, you know, when you first start, you want that momentum and you want to be enrolling every week, because that's how it gets exciting. Because if you are enrolling every week, in week one that you get paid, you're going to get the fast start bonus from the enrollment. And then if you enroll the following week, you get, you know, another, you know, the enrollment from that fast start bonus, and then you keep building, right? So you've got 4 weeks, say it's your first month, right? Sharon, it's your first month. So you are going to get, you know, like say 4 weeks worth of fast start bonuses from enrollments. Now, say next month you continue to enroll and you enroll at the same pace. Here's what's going to happen. All those enrollments that you're going to have in December and the fast start bonuses that you're going to earn are going to be compounded by the LRP orders of everyone you enrolled this month. Did a light bulb just go on for you? Okay? So that momentum is awesome. So for 60 days, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing because it's like you enroll. You've got enrollment fast start bonuses, and then you get 30-day fast start bonuses, 60-day fast start bonuses. And then if the people that you enrolled are enrolling, you're earning on top of that. It's like win-win-win. Okay? All right. So now let's move on to the second way that you can make an income with doTERRA. I told you that the third way that you can make an income with doTERRA. I keep forgetting about retail because it's like retail is like the black sheep of my compensation plan in my world. So anyway, the third way that you can earn an income with doTERRA is called the power of 3. And, you know, just by what it's called, I like it. I like, you know, like power of 3. You know, it just sounds badass, right? And so I love the power of 3. The power of 3 was what I latched onto. I loved the design of it because with the power of 3, no matter what, you take people with you. And that speaks to me. So the power of 3 basically means that there's some prerequisites for the power of 3. Of course, the first prerequisite is the one that we already talked about, which is that in order for you to earn any level of income with doTERRA, you have to place at least a minimum $100 order. Now, what leverages that is 125, and then, you know, 150 is a better number, and I'll show you why in just a second. So with the power of 3, the first prerequisite is you have to have an active LRP. The second prerequisite is that you need at least 3 people. They do not need to be enrolled by you. So what that means in your example, Sharon, is that Nani can put somebody under you. Tiara can put somebody under you. And if they are on your front line and they are all ordering 100 PV, they qualify you for the power of 3, the first level power of 3. Okay? So they don't need to be personally enrolled. Now, when you complete your first level power of 3, it gets a little interesting, and this is where there are like 2 different ways of thinking about how you're going to build your power of 3, right? So in addition to each person placing a $100 order, everybody in your first level have to equal $600. Now, all of a sudden, the math doesn't make sense. It's like, that's where people go, what? And so then they start piling 800 people across your front line. And, you know, in hopes that, you know, they throw a dart and somebody of that 800, like 3 people out of that 800 or 7 people out of that 800 will equal $600. So let's take a closer look. Just close this real quick. All right, we'll use this one. I have a few different ones I like to use. Let's use this one. Okay. Okay, so power of 3, I want you to focus on the first column. You are green. And then you have 3 blue people who qualify you with a 100 PV order. And you need $600. You green and your 3 blues and your 2 grays all need to equal $600. So that's one of the reasons why on my team I train and model the approach that everybody orders $150 minimum. So let's do some math. If you order $150 and 3 people under you order $150, that is an easy $600, isn't it? So you have $600 and you $600 in PV, and you qualify for your first level power of 3. And your first level power of 3 is $50. You earn $50 every single month. That's paid monthly. So now that comes where you kind of wonder, like, how do I place people? And that's a placements question. That is a placements training, and there are different modalities and different views on how you can do that. So we're going to pretend right now for this purpose and this training that you live in a perfect world and it's nirvana, and you and your 3 people under you all place a $150 order, and that is your $600. So now we take the blues, these blue people over here, and we put them up here. And if each one of your blue team were to do the same thing you did and acquire 3 people under them, and again, remember, it doesn't need to be their personal enrollment. It can be enrollments placed by you or the people who enrolled you. And if they do the same thing, so each blue person had their 3 people, and in the perfect world, everybody placed a $150 order. Each one of those units will have $600, which would mean that you have $1,800 worth in minimum purchases on your second level, and about $450 on your first level. Okay, like that's just some additional math there. When you do that, you will get a $250 bonus every single month. Now, what that $250 bonus can translate to is it supports your oil habit, right? It supports your oil habit, and it pays for your paraphernalia. I can't say it today, but your paraphernalia. Somebody say it for me because I can't say it. But it pays for your roller bottles, your spray bottles, your books, your sample bottles, and your diffuser, whatever else you might want to have in your essential oil lifestyle. So then I want to just pause here for a quick second. Do we have any questions with regards to this? I want to actually swing over to Tiara disappeared. So, there you are. Okay, can I unmute you, Tiara? I'm going to pin you for a second. And
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you understand about the power of 3? And if you are willing to be a little vulnerable, tell me a little bit about the challenges that you've faced with regards to the power of 3.
Sure. So power of 3, the power of 3, the $600 a month, I'm just going to go straight to the vulnerable part. It's hard for me to, get people at $150 a month. Sometimes people are, more comfortable with $100 a month. The $125 is great because you get the perk of the free oil of the month, but then asking people to push it to $150 if they're not building the business is where I find, the challenge.
Right. So now, let's answer the question for you. If you were making $50 a month, would it be easy for you to place a $100 order?
Yes.
Now, if you were making $250 a month, would it be easy for you then to place a $150 order?
Yes.
So the power of 3, to give you the psychology behind why doTERRA is such a big-hearted company, is that they have set that up to help you succeed despite whether or not other people want to build the business. Because it's It's your success doesn't need to just be hinged on whether or not you can quickly inspire people to do what you do. You are really the steward and you are in control, because if you want that power of 3, then you go out, you enroll people, and you just place them under people. There were times, when I got my $50 power of 3, I'll be honest with you, I did slip and not get the $50 one month. But then the very next month, when I was enrolling people, I piled people under the weak link, the person that wasn't ordering for me. And I piled them in and I said, listen, before I did that, I called them and I said, listen, I'm going to be putting people under you, and it's going to give you $50 every single month. And all you need to do is place a $100 order. But really, I want you to place a $150 order. And you're going to get $50 every month toward your oils. And I have shown you, and do you believe that these oils work? Do you want these oils? You're like, yeah. All right, well, here's the beginning. The beginning is I'm going to give you $50, and who knows what happens then. But if you work with me, we're going to get to $250 a lot faster. And that is how I built my team. I built my team on 3 people who did not want to build the business, yet now harness about $50,000 to $60,000 in volume every single month, with about 50% of the enrollments on that team coming from them. So it started off because I didn't care if they were builders or not. I loved them very much and wanted them to use the oils. It was very important to me that they had access to the oils and they could afford the oils. And if they could afford the oils, their success with the oils and their blessing with the oils was my blessing. It was a blessing for me. So does that make sense to you?
It does. And I like the way that you think about that, because you really are just helping other people get their first level power of 3, which obviously affects you, but it's more about getting oils in their hands every month.
Correct. That was the thing. And so I didn't ask them if they wanted to build. My question to them is, do you want to use these oils every month? And if you had the ability, if I could cut your cost, will you use the oils every month? And if they said yes, they were my person. That they were my person for power of 3. And maybe I lucked out because nobody has rescinded on that from me yet. Because I believe I did my job in making sure they fell in love with the oils. So they wanted it. And if they were not placing full orders, it was because they couldn't, not because they didn't want to. And if that was the case, I'm going to give them, I'm going to help them. I'm going to take away that reason, right? So let me go back to the final thing, which actually, is like pretty self-explanatory. So this shows you the 3rd level. So if orange team and yellow team and green and teal team go out and do the exact same thing, now all of a sudden it's $1,500. So now the people that you put on your front line, if you're making $1,500, they're making $250. Now, if somebody's making $250 and all they have to do is spend $150, I think if they were reasonable and logic prevailed, they would continue to place that order. And that was my drive. That was my goal. Rank was not important to me. And I knew that in order for me to have a stable and sustainable and efficient team, I needed to have the loyalty of my frontline people. And so my goal was not my income, even though it was, but right next to it was their income. Right next to it, my love for the oils had to equal their love for the oils. My income had to be like the sunshine that casts a shadow over their income. Does that make sense? Does that analogy make sense? My income had to be the sunshine that casts a shadow over their income. So they got an income too. I never left anybody behind. And I did not look at enrollments as where do I put them to benefit me most, but where I would put them to benefit us most. And so instead of spreading enrollments across wide, I completed one person at a time. So I made sure Tony had her first level power of 3, and then I moved on to Anne, and then I moved on to Patty. I moved on one person at a time. And because once I built it, I never lost it. Okay, so this $1,500 bonus, let's look at what that number means for us. Okay, the average American who is on the brink of poverty, the difference is $200. $200 is the difference between the brink of poverty, being on the poverty line, and then stepping over the poverty line. And the people who struggle at the end of the month, 95% of them say that $200 is all they need. Like, that's the deficit. That's why they eat ramen for that last 7 days. Or that's why, they walk to work, or, they whatever it is that they do, right? It's the $200. Now, if you think about what $1,500 can do, if you think about what $1,500 can do, $1,500 is what the U.S. Census marks as what one person in a household needs, one adult in a household needs in order to survive. So if you add an additional $1,500 into your financial payroll, you are leveling the playing field for yourself in the quality of your life, in the burden and the stress that you might have on your finances. Now let's look at that $1,500 number for a second. You have to work, if you're making average pay, you have to be making you have to work about 40 hours a week at about minimum pay, about $10 an hour maybe, to make $1,500 a month. And that, at the beginning of the month, it resets over and over again. It resets, right? So, how many hours is it worth to you for you to make sure that you build your business in a manner that $1,500 comes to you without you having to put in 40 hours a week on it at minimum pay? How many hours are you willing to put in? And how many of those hours are you willing to put in for free? I will tell you what my answer is. For me, if it means that from now until I am done with doTERRA, or doTERRA is done with me, I get $1,500 every single month, and the work I have to do is in the front, I will work 1,000,000 hours. I will work tirelessly, and I will collect no's with wild abandon. I don't give it any weight. If it means that if I keep on moving and I hit that third level power of 3 and it's solid and it's unshakable, and it means that I can still make that money every single month from that point on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? I mean, does this mean, so I'll tell you what my reality is. I hit my third level power of 3 within 4 months. And for the first 9 months of that, there were growing pains. I had to patch it. I had to watch it. I was like a mad scientist. I had a notebook with numbers, like, oh my God, yeah, 80, how can they be 80 cents short? What are they, what do you mean 80 cents short? Like crazy, it was like crazy, 9 months. And for 3 years, I've not had to look at my power of 3 at all. I've not spent a minute looking at my first, second, and third level power of 3. I worked my butt off for that first year or two, and I focused in on that. I knew that I could lose everything in doTERRA, but I would not lose that. And my children and I know how to survive on a lot less than $1,500. So can I just pause for a second? And may I please ask you to reflect back to me what this means to you? And let me ask Elizabeth. Are you here, Elizabeth?
I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me, though.
I can.
Can you?
I can.
Great.
Either that or I've
Good
had
morning.
perfect timing.
So I'm sorry. What is your question?
So tell me, can
What does it?
you tell me what this means to you? What I just said about how the power of 3 can impact your life.
I understand. I really hear your passion, and I believe that in what you're saying and how it's impacted your life. I personally am on my phone, so I can't see your charts this morning. But I'm at a point in my life when I am also struggling, and I'm asking myself where I need to place my energy, and this makes sense to me. So that's my comment.
Well, Elizabeth, if you believe in the power of goodwill and in the collective consciousness that we all, like when we come together, we can do big things. I want you to know that I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you. You are going to do this. I know you can. And when it gets difficult, don't you worry, because we've got you. You have people on your team, and you have me now, and you can reach out to me. And when it gets rough, don't worry. I will hold you for a bit. I mean, not, like in a creepy way, but, I will hold you for a bit, and you can do this. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
We are all rooting for you. And you are going
Thank you.
So
I have Nani right above me, and she's such a wonderful person.
Yes. And doTERRA is filled with wonderful people. It's like we're all high on oils. How can we not be? Right? The weirdos that I encounter who are also in doTERRA, I'm like, yeah, they're not using their oils. I know it. It's like, yeah, they're not using the oil. So you're in good company. You're good. We've got you. You're going to be okay. We are rooting for you. And, never doubt when people come together and our intention is to lift others and we believe in abundance, amazing things happen. And you're absolutely going to get there. There's no other option.
Thank you.
Okay. Amber, is this a good time for you to speak? I know you have babies. Amber, are you there? Okay, I'm gonna kind of maybe move back. And Tiara, I'm gonna unmute you. Can you tell me what this means for you and how this this changes or this shifts your paradigm a little bit in the way you're going to love your team?
Well, I love the concept of helping other people get there. I guess I've never looked at that $1,500 as something that I could possibly even achieve. It just seems like such a big feat, but I love the breakdown because I think it becomes totally manageable when you're helping one person at a time. And it changes the way I'm thinking about placement as well for people. So it's all good. It's just going to take my brain a little while to switch gears here.
Right. And you know what? Everything worthwhile is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tiara, I've known you for a few years now. You're made to do difficult things.
Yeah.
All right? That you are made to do difficult things. Do not stand down because it is difficult. It was made for you. So you're going, this is your arena. Difficult is your arena.
Yeah. Yep.
So own it and slay it and be the gladiator that your team needs you to be. And and they will stand down with you. I promise. My team does.
Awesome.
So awesome. Are we good? Can we move on? All right.
Yep.
So then comes the more glamorous ways that you can earn an income with doTERRA. And let's call, before we move to rank, I think I want to talk about unilevel, because I think that unilevel speaks to endurance. People give up too quickly before they see the fruits of their labor. And I'm going to just step out of line a little bit, and I want to actually read something to you, if you will allow me. And I may go over time because I'm doing this, but I want to tell you a little bit. Are we okay on time? If we go over, is that okay? Right, because you guys can just leave if you need to. So let's speak about endurance, because unilevel is all about endurance. Endurance is our ability to withstand adversity and hardship. We practice perseverance and patience when obstacles arise, open to lessons they bring. We don't give up or feel hopeless about ourselves. We hold on. Endurance hones our character and seasons our soul. Weathering the inevitable challenges in our relationships deepen trust and loyalty. It makes love abiding and strong. The early navigators who plotted their course with nothing but the stars became strong, confident sailors. When trouble comes, endurance gives us the strength to stay on course. Endurance is not just the ability to endure a hard thing, but turn it into glory. The practice of endurance is found in the following ways. These are the affirmations. I find strength to live through adversity. I seek lessons in hardship. I do not let troubles keep me down. I accept the challenges love requires. I have lasting relationships. I gain confidence by not giving up. I am thankful for the gift of endurance. It fortifies my will. Your unilevel is the gift that you get for putting forth endurance. In other network marketing companies, what their unilevel looks like is a higher percentage at the top and a lower percentage at the bottom. So in just looking at the power of 3 model that I just showed you, are there more people at the top or more people at the bottom? More people at the bottom, right? So if you're getting paid a higher percentage at the top and a lower percentage at the bottom, what happens to your income over time? It levels. That it levels, right? Because it may seem in the beginning that you're getting decent amount and you expect that trajectory to continue upward as you get more and more people in your organization. But then it can become frustrating and it can feel like you're spinning your wheels, because with a compensation model that has a higher percentage at the top and a lower percentage at the bottom, even though you're getting more people, the trajectory of that income is not meeting your expectations. So doTERRA has flipped it. You get a lower percentage at the top where you have fewer people, arguably, if you're not piling your people on the front, right? And a higher percentage at the bottom. And here's, again, I speak to the heart of doTERRA. The reason why they do that is so you don't forget about the people below, that you will still continue to companion them, that they are not just a number, but that they are very, very important, not just in your financial makeup, but in the financial makeup of everyone who stands in your shadow, right? You're the sunlight and they're the shadow, right? I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. It's just an imagery, right? In the imagery aspect of it. So when you look at unilevel, and rank does apply, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're only going to talk about unilevel, and I'm going to show you a graphic that exemplifies what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's look at the gray section first. If you look at the gray model on the right, actually shows you what a model looks like if you have a higher percentage at the top and a lower percentage at the bottom. So if you have somebody who places a $150 order and you have 7% at the top, you'll earn 31%. In doTERRA's model, you earn only 2%. That's $9. For somebody starting out, you're like, oh, that's bullocks. That sucks. That's a lot lower. And, I was making more money much faster at another multi-level marketing company. But then if you look at the second level, they make $112 to your $49 in the in the purple. And then you look at the third level and you go, oh, they're making 6%, I'm making 5% at $250. And they're doing this all at the same, under the same assumption that there are the same number of people placing the same dollar amount order of $150 a person. But look at what happens all of a sudden when you go into the fourth level. On the fourth level, you are earning 5%, and the other company is also making 5%. There's only now $100 difference. You flip and you go into this next level, and all of a sudden, it's over $1,000. So these are just numbers, right? So you look, it's like you give up in the beginning, but you're going to really make it big in the end. So let me I'm going to share with you some of my numbers. So in my first check with doTERRA was spot on. It was $9 because, like I said, I only had 3 people, right? And I was a rock star. They all ordered $150. So it was about $9. Then my next check was about $57 because I think people ordered a little bit more. Like it was something. And I was like, gee, thanks, doTERRA. And a little bit of an attitude there. And then for a lot of my first year, the unilevel was just like when I figured out how much I was going to make that month, the unilevel came as a surprise addition, like $200 more, $300 more, whatever. So right now, my unilevel alone accounts for about $7,000 to $8,000. I'm going to let that sink in. Yes.
Pram, you're talking a month, correct?
Correct. I'm going to let that sink in. So hypothetically speaking, if I stopped enrolling people and all the people I enrolled stop enrolling, which won't happen, or let's just say I lose my power of 3, and all I have is unilevel, I will still make about $7,000 or $8,000 a month as of right now. Because, and you know why? One of the reasons I think is because my team is built very strongly. It's bound very, very thickly. My frontline people are very committed to their power of 3 and making sure that they're getting to their third level power of 3. The people in the second and third and fourth levels are all working towards their power of 3. So the band is very strong. And as far as diamonds go, my unilevel is a baby. It's a baby. I make very small unilevel compared to what other diamonds make because my team, I hit diamond on a very small and efficient team. Most people who are diamonds, when they hit diamond, their volume was maybe in upwards of $300,000 or $400,000 maybe, or $200,000. I hit diamond with under $100,000 in volume because my team was efficient. And I hit diamond with 750 people on my team. Very efficient, very small. So I am a baby diamond. I feel like, a Great Dane diamond. But, it's just my perspective. It's about quality, not quantity. My retention on my team is over 80%, which means that 80% of the people on my team place at least $100 order every single month. That can make a huge difference. Do not forsake people. Do not leave them. They signed up with doTERRA and they bought a membership because they, at one point, something someone said to them made sense. And they wanted this to be a part of their lives. All right? So don't stop believing in them, and, understand that, how they view this company and this opportunity is very much navigated by you. And it is not about your message to them, but about how you are able to answer what they need. But that's a different training, right? So let's back up. Does anybody have any questions about Unilevel? I mean, there's nothing for me to explain. It's just show you numbers, right? So, but does anybody have anything that they want to know about Unilevel that I didn't cover? There are interesting concepts and little hidden things in Unilevel, like dynamic compression and stuff like that. But don't blow your brains about that. That will come after you just master some of the basics. Okay? So now, the last thing is just rank. And I say just rank because that's how I feel. For some people, it's huge. And I'm not going to go too far in depth with this because rank is something that is pretty self-explanatory when you look at the requirements on a very simple graph. And the graphs kind of just give you numbers, but they don't necessarily tell you who do you need to be in order to, to make that happen for you. Hold on a second. Can you please? I'll be just a second. Thank you. Okay. My son just came home from school. So I'm going to show you very quickly this. It's a very basic chart. It is, I think it's very easy to understand, and this is what I use. All right. So if you look at this chart from consultant to premier, you do not get any rank payout. 0. Okay. Your money just comes from Unilevel, fast start bonuses, and power of 3. When you hit silver, that is the first time that you earn a leadership commission, is what they call it. And the requirements are that you have 3 elites. And you can go and look at this chart and see what that means. And this is where your personal enrollments come into play, okay, for you to hit this rank. Now, if you want to write some dollar amounts on your notes, the average commission for a silver in terms of the leadership bonus, in addition to fast start bonuses, in addition to Unilevel, in addition to power of 3, is $150. Okay? Gold is $750. Platinum is $1,500. And diamond is about $4,000. So let's do some math. If you completed your power of 3 and you were making about $400 or $250, let's just say $400 in Unilevel, and you have your $1,500 power of 3, and so you've got about $1,900. Hitting silver will give you another $150. Okay? If all things are even and equal, and you hit gold, gold will give you, give you another $750 on top of the power of 3, the Unilevel, and the fast start bonus. Okay? And then platinum will give you $1,500. Diamond will give you $4,000. In addition to power of 3, fast start bonus, and Unilevel. So on average, the average silver in doTERRA makes about $2,800. When I hit silver, again, I was a very baby silver. I was making about $1,800 maybe. When I hit gold, I was a baby gold, and I made $3,000, but the average gold makes about $4,500. Towards the end of my time as gold, that's what I made. The average platinum makes about $7,000 to $8,000. I was right on par with platinum. The average diamond makes about $17,000. In the whole time that I've been diamond, I have made $17,000 twice. Otherwise, it kind of, it falls below that. but that's great. I'm not complaining. I'm not even going to tell you about Blue Diamond and Presidential Diamond, because really that's like beyond monopoly money, in my opinion. It's like, it's like $30-some thousand a month for Blue and $100-some thousand a month for Presidential. Think of how many jackets my children and I can buy with that for other children. So I guess that brings me to the end. So I'm going to open this up now to like just quick question and answer. And this is just a very basic of just understanding the compensation plan. So Tiara, let me start with you.
And what would you like to know?
Just tell me what you thought of the presentation, or what you learned, or anything. Just any questions or anything.
Let me just think if I have any questions here real quick. I don't think I do. I think this is all the nuts and bolts that are required. And I feel like an additional conversation can be had. I know you're having another call tomorrow.
Yeah.
And do you want to talk a little bit about like what that's going to be?
Yeah, I'll end this with that.
You'll end it with that? Okay. Because I think this is all the nuts and bolts, and this is kind of like this strategy.
Right. And in the way that it was presented, I mean, I know you've seen the business plan presented in different ways. What did you think of this? I mean, I just want to know from my feedback.
Oh, I think it's good. I think you're touching on some things I haven't heard before. The concept of the $150 a month, meaning that you're helping other people get their first level power of 3. Same with the, $1,500, you're my third level power of 3, just the structuring of that and the purpose behind that is really what I'm taking away today.
Okay. Great. Very good. And then let me, Nani, are you around, Nani? I know you, okay, hi, there you are. Okay, let me pin you and go.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for doing this call. We really appreciate it. And I have some very, very baby builders on the call. And I'm super excited. I'm excited about the same things Tira was just talking about, like how to do the power of 3 and help other people. And I realized that I actually kind of was doing that with the 3 that are on right now. So I'm excited that intuitively, at least with this group, we can get there.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Good. And I hope that the way I presented this, I mean, it's slightly different from, how I've seen it. I have my own way of of explaining it. And hopefully it clarified a few things for you.
Yeah, I love it that you have experience and that you intertwined your experience into it, because that makes it more powerful for us. Yes. So thank you.
You're welcome. Jane, may I put you on the spotlight, Jane?
I think it's Janet.
Oh, Janet.
Yeah.
Oh, Janet, sorry. What do you think of the compensation plan? What do you think of doTERRA's compensation plan?
I just like doTERRA and how it operates on how Nanny presents it, how he presents it. And I'm a one-on-one person, so I don't do groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of bring people in one-on-one. It's kind of a different way of doing it, I think.
Well, that's how I built my business. Introvert, right? And I couldn't hold classes in my house because I lived in a safe house. And so strangers are not allowed, stranger danger. So
yeah,
you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And I think that all you need really is to understand that your way doesn't need to look like everybody else's way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As long as your way is the best way for you. And my favorite thing about doTERRA, I felt very alone before doTERRA. I felt unseen. My favorite thing about doTERRA was that I have the opportunity to bring lives into my life, and I have I went from having no one to care about to 2,800 people to care about. I love it. I love it.
And you should give Nani a raise.
Yes.
Nani, she's really good.
Well, yes, and Nani is actually, the cool thing about doTERRA is your own boss, right? You're your own boss. You can give yourself as big of a raise as you want, you know, and you just have to, but all you need to do is exchange it for that servant leadership in the beginning, and not look at this as something where I've put in this much time and this much effort and I'm not seeing this much outcome as the backdrop to what you are used to receiving in, you know, in a job related world. You know, you have to stop that comparison and you stop that equation and look at the outcome. And the outcome is mind blowing. It's mind blowing, and I don't say it's mind blowing because of how it has affected my life personally, but the fact that I was a lost soul and now my life is changing the lives of others. And that means that if I go out and find more people like me, that's the same outcome, right? That's a possible outcome. That's what I love and motivates me. So I thank you for being on this call and hearing me out. And I really appreciate your presence here.
Thank you.
I'm going to go.
And thank you for your
Lauren.
presentation.
If I may call on you, Lauren, tell me a little bit about what you thought about this call today.
Yeah, you know, I learned, I've heard the business overview a number of times, but like Nani said, I totally love when a story is incorporated with it. It helps to understand more clearly, to be able to relate to how we could or potentially could build our business as well. But for me, the biggest outcome and takeaways I had was just how you have structured your unilevel, because that's something that I like, that bad attitude feeling of, oh, thanks doTERRA for that $60 check a month again, you know, and I have struggled with, you know, I have over 50 people I've enrolled, and I struggle to hit first level power of 3 a lot of months. So it's something that I hadn't known what to do from the very beginning, but I'm learning, you know, there's more depth to this that I can see that I'm doing things wrong. So
no. You're not doing things wrong. If I may just, you know, be so bold as to interject, you know, there's a right way of doing things, and then there's just a righter way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong. You know, you're not wrong. And if I can tell you what I think about all of this, you know, sometimes we are pushed, and, you know, when we don't see where we're going and we don't know, you know, we're stuck and we go, okay, you know, I've got 50 people under me and I'm struggling to make my first level power of 3. That means I need to enroll more people.
Right.
Well, stop for a second and remember that you have everything you already need. And if you just pause the enrollment for just a second and not make that your focus, not stop it, right? Just pause it and go back to those 50 people and see what needs to happen for them to bring them back into the fold. What is the conversation? I mean, really, like I said earlier, right? At some point, this membership made sense to them.
Right.
And you know, those 50 people, their learning curve is better than the 50 or 100 people that you can talk to who have never heard of oils, that you have to like court and, you know, like, and convince them to come and sign up with a membership above every other crap oil that's out there. You know, the struggle is real, but this you already have them, you know,
right.
and they have great potential. You know, if you do the math on that, you know, you need like 3, 6, 9, 12. You know, like, you know, if you're 50 people, hypothetically in a perfect world were structured correctly, that should almost complete your $1,500 power of 3. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I kind of tell my children, this when they ask me for stuff, they want this other, they want this new toy. They want the bigger toy, and they're like, oh, Mom, I'll do chores. I'll do this. I'll do that for you to buy me this new toy, this bigger toy. They bargain with me. And I tell them, I'm like, sure, you can do the chores. And I expect you to now that you've offered, right? I'm going to hold you to that. And you can do all these things that you said. But you see, the main problem I have with not giving you the toy that you want is because you're not taking care of the crap toys you do have. And I believe that in many ways, and this is me going into a philosophical level, but I believe that in many ways, that's how the universe works, right? You could honor and take care of what you have, before you ask for bigger things. In order to be a good diamond, you have to be a good director. You have to be a good executive. You have to be a good elite. You have to learn to run that race. And those levels and those structures and those, the compensation plan exists, I believe. And for me, the way I interpret it is it's me training to run the race. I am not pursuing blue diamond. I am not yet a good diamond. I am working on being a good diamond. And until I'm a good diamond, I'm not going to be a good blue diamond. And I'm going to struggle. I'm going to feel frustrated. And this is, you have decided when you go into doTERRA and look at it as a financial opportunity, you're looking at this as you being the navigator of your future. You get to choose how your day looks. You get to choose how your life looks. You get to choose how the people you surround yourself look. It shouldn't feel like a struggle. It shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't be frustrating. It shouldn't be angry. And if it is, then there's a problem. And that's what you need to fix.
Yeah, no, and that's something, it was a big mind shift I had since the kids went back to school and we just built and moved into a new house, was just nurturing what I've already created. And it's working. I let it kind of go, and I had the mentality of like a one-time sale. I got the person, they'll just do what they need to do, and it'll all fall into place. But it's bigger than that, and it is providing a service for them and nurturing those people, because they did have an investment from the beginning, and I thought that they would come to me more, and they haven't. So it was just like a slow learning curve thing that, but you hit on a lot of points that really hit home for me with that point, just being able to nurture and service those people and show them the gift that they have in front of them.
Exactly. So perfect. So, I've gone way over. I do apologize. I blame it on being Asian. It's like no other thing, no other excuse. But I want to end by letting you know that I do have another call same time tomorrow. There are 2 calls. There's going to be another call tonight. It's going to cover basically the same information I did today, but my calls are never the same. So I kind of go with the flow and the energy of the people around me. And I have another call tomorrow. And in that call, we're going to do a little bit of breakdown on the, okay, so you now have the compensation plan. So how do you do it? How do you, I've shown you like the bricks and the mortar and all the things that you have to do. Now in tomorrow's call, I show you your options on how you can get there. And I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I am still learning. But if you don't want to make the same mistakes I've made, then I'm happy to show them. I'm happy to tell you what they were and what worked for me. And that's what tomorrow's call is going to be about. It's going to be about, okay, so you understand the compensation plan. Now, who do you need to be and what do you need and how do you get there? So I look forward to getting to know all of you a little bit more. And I hope that you feel me when I tell you that I am absolutely cheering for you. This opportunity is something that I believe in. And I think that it has the potential to offer us the opportunity to not just be stewards of our own destiny, but to change the lives of everybody we touch. So I want to thank you all very much. And I want you to go out and understand that you are no longer just wellness advocates. You are dream makers and you are life changers. So walk that. So thank you all very much and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pramela.